Hi, I'm Philip Schwartz, and I'm here today to walk you through the PVpallet Series X. This is our flagship product that is made from recycled HDPE plastic, usable numerous times over, and at end of life, it is recyclable on the back end. So it's a fully circular, sustainable solution for our industry. This product was built specifically for shipping solar panels, and I'll walk you through some of the features and benefits of PVpallet Series X and why it's so good for shipping solar panels. At the end of the day, it is a container and you could ship other products with it, but again, it was designed for shipping solar panels. I'm going to start off with showing you the base and pointing out a few features of the base specifically and why it's so great. So this is a 48-inch by 90-inch footprint, and this base is reinforced with 2 lengths of tube steel that run down the length of the base of the pallet. That does a couple things for us. One, it provides some rigidity so that you don't get forklift penetration from the bottom. That's a big area where we see a lot of damage of solar panels is when those forklift tines pop up through the bottom. Another benefit is from a stacking standpoint. Those structural steel tubes provide structural support so that we can stack these PV pallets multiple units high, which I'll show you in just a bit. So that's very important to the integrity of the base and a huge benefit to the design of the PV pallet. Next up, I'm going to walk you through these sidewalls. So as you can see here, the PV pallet is currently collapsed. It collapses at a 5-to-1 ratio. So you can ship 26 of these fully loaded on a 53-foot dry van. Collapsed, again, 5-to-1 ratio. So you can ship 130 collapsed units on a 53-foot dry van. So the return ratio is fantastic. And now I'm going to walk you through some of the sidewalls here. So right here you can see it in its collapsed format. There's latches that keep these walls secure when it's collapsed, so they're not going to slide off of the base on you. But to release them, all you do is pull on one of the latches and lift up. It's good to go. So that wall is now disengaged from the base. I'll do the same over here. Now the Series X is adjustable. So as we all know, solar modules come in different lengths, shapes, and sizes. This Series X is adjustable from 63.5 inches in length all the way out to 83.5 inches in length. And that's in 2-inch increments. So you'll see on this base, there's notches here every 2 inches. So that's how you get your adjustability on the length. So for this demo, I'm going to put this on the furthest length out on this side. So all you do is lift up the wall. Again, I'm putting it in its furthest out slot. On the other side, typically we try to make it symmetrical, but I'll show you what it looks like with the wall on its most inner slot on this side, just so you can see what that looks like. So again, if you were to have these at the furthest slots out, it would be 83.5 inches interior length. At this innermost slot, that would be a 63.5-inch inner length. Some other benefits that you see on the walls here is that this provides great protection on the sides, and it is removable. So if you need to access the panels from the short side of the pallet, you can pull the wall off and access them that way. And nested in these walls are these cross braces. They snap in regardless of which slot you have the wall. The cross braces snap and lock in place with those locking latches. And this also provides additional protection for the solar panels from impact that you don't get on a standard pallet. One other great feature of the sidewalls is our load management system. So many of our customers find a lot of challenges and a lot of breakage, frankly, when they're shipping partial loads of solar panels. Typically speaking, a load of solar panels that comes on a wood pallet fits approximately 30 solar panels, depending on the frame thickness. But what if you need to repalletize those into a smaller load? What if you're a residential installer and you need to break that pallet down? That's where we see a lot of breakage, is the repalletization of smaller loads. It's very challenging and difficult. This load management system that you'll see here is what we've created to address that challenge. In each of the sidewalls, there's both an upper and a lower rail system that has these sliding latches. So when they're not being used, they're stowed in the wall, they're out of the way. But to engage the latches, you pull this up and the latch drops down and it slides along this rail. And you can lock it in place at whatever location you want. There's two of those handles. There's one on the front side and the back side. So that allows you to very easily secure those loads upright, or not secure, but manage them upright while you secure them with banding. What's also nice about them is that since there's two on each rail, you can center the solar panels in the middle of the pallet, or you can shift them to one side. So maybe you want to ship a few panels and you've got other inverters or other BOS equipment that you want to ship on the same pallet. You can put those panels out of the way and use the remainder of the pallet for shipping your other equipment. Now, to reiterate what I just said, this is for load management. It's to help you while you're trying to palletize. It's to help you while you're installing. It's not to secure the loads. To secure the loads, we have banding recommendations, which you can see here. So our recommendation is to secure the load itself into a cube with two vertical bands, one here and one on the other side, and two horizontal bands. Those go around the load, make sure it stays intact, and basically is shipped as a complete unit. Then you take that cube and you secure it to the pallet itself with these two vertical bands. So that's really what you do to secure the load and make sure it's safe for shipping. I can't reiterate that enough. You need to band. The other thing I like to point out with this stack is that because PV pallets have these sidewalls, you'll see here there's no weight on the cargo below. Now typically when you're storing solar panels today, many manufacturers' recommendations is that you don't stack more than 2 high when they're on wood pallets. And that's because all of the weight of those upper pallets are sitting on the panels themselves, on that cargo. So if you stack 3, 4 high, you could have upwards of 4,000 to 5,000, if not more, pounds sitting directly on top of those bottom solar panels on the lowest pallet. With our system, there's no weight on the cargo at all. I can run my hands in here, it's free. So what that means is that we can stack up to 4 high in a warehouse setting, potentially cutting your warehouse space requirements in half. You can also ship 2 high on the truck, of course. One other thing from a safety standpoint I like to point out is that I mentioned earlier these cross braces provide structural stability to this stack. So what you don't want to do is open these up while it's stacked. That could pose a safety risk. So when you are warehousing these and storing them, it's a little difficult to see here, but there's holes in these cross braces just above the latches. You can put zip ties in those holes and make certain that nobody can open these latches while it's stacked. So we do everything we can to make sure that this is not only a beneficial product, but also a safe product for our customers. Another thing to point out, and this is for reusables in general, but I always like to make sure we talk about this, is asset tracking. So because these are reusable containers, we can add RFID labels, we can add GPS trackers, so you can know exactly where your cargo is at any given time, whether it's in the OEM getting filled, whether it's on the job site, in transit. We can track those wherever they're at. And you can't do that today with the single-use wood pallets that are so prevalent in our industry. Another thing that's great with PVpallet is you have the ability to white label. So you buy these pallets, we can work with you and do custom artwork, put your logo on the side, and make sure the world knows that these are your pallets and you're committed to sustainability. Last but not least, if you've listened to me on the dimensions, this goes from 63.5 to 83.5. That's why we call it the Series X for expandable. That was really meant for M6 modules, and as we know, the market's shifting to M10. We also offer a Series XL, which is an extended base version of this that can go up to 90 inches internal length. So we do have options for those M10 modules that are becoming the norm. So again, this is the Series X. This is our flagship product. This is what's going to make your life easier. It's going to reduce your breakage. It's going to get rid of all that pallet waste on your job sites, make your life more efficient and more safe, and make the industry better. That's what we're here for. Our mission at PVpallet is to eliminate waste and make our industry more sustainable. So thank you very much. I appreciate your time.